to the resolution of the House of the 25th of September 2024, establishing a select committee on PFAS contamination in waterways and drinking water supplies throughout New South Wales, correspondence has been received from the Leader of the Government and the Leader of the Opposition nominating the following remaining members of the committee. From the Government, Mr Donnelly, Mr Lawrence and Mr Murphy, and from the Opposition, Mr Barrett and Mrs McDonald.
My question is to the Minister for the Environment in the Legislative Council. The last government approved 4 locations across New South Wales for waste incinerators to be established, basically where Sydney's garbage would be burnt and pollute country towns. One of those locations was Tarago within the member of Goulburn's electorate. Now there is a proposed plastic recycling plant in Moss Vale for which the member for Goulburn has expressed environmental concerns. Could the Minister please explain the community's social and environmental benefits for such a facility?
The Honourable Penny Sharpe.
Question. A couple of points I would make is that the current policy that we're operating in relation to energy from waste is the policy of the previous government, endorsed by the member for Goulburn, and is actually now through the planning process in terms of the energy for waste facility. The energy for waste framework was introduced by the previous government, and it identifies a number of regional precincts that can host energy from waste facilities. This includes the Parks Special Activation Precinct, Richmond Valley Regional Jobs Precinct, Southern Goulburn Mulwaree Precinct and West Lithgow Precinct. One of the points that I would make about this is that New South Wales has the toughest jurisdictions in relation to the rules for this around the settings from energy from waste. And the other point that I would make is that we are also made a commitment to review those processes again, and we will be beginning to do that very soon. The point is, in terms of energy from waste, in terms of where it's at in New South Wales, there is only one active project in the planning system, and that's the one that you've identified, and Goulburn. It is going through the independent planning system. My understanding about where that's up to, it's now at the response to submission stage. So that's where that's at. There are very stringent requirements about it, but it's still going through the process. I am actually familiar with the Plasrefine proposal in Moss Vale. In fact, before the election, I met with some of the local residents who are concerned about its location and what that needs to, how that needs to be dealt with. It's still going through the planning system, and my understanding is that the Department of Planning has made a recommendation of approval subject to conditions to the New South Wales Independent Planning Commission. The IPC is holding a public meeting on the 28th, and public submissions were also submitted until the 7th of November. The point that I'd make is there's really important conditions in relation to this. I do know that people are very concerned about it. I've met with many people around that in terms of the environmental protections that are put in place, and they're currently being examined. The challenge that we have here is that we need to deal with plastic and plastic recycling. Members would be aware that we're dealing with, we've currently got the plastics a proposal out to reduce the number of plastics coming into our system straight away, from the beginning. We're looking at increasing recycling. We have 800,000 tonnes of plastic that comes into New South Wales every year, and only 13% of it is recycled. 60% of all littered items in New South Wales are made of plastic, and it has the lowest recycling rate. We're trying to fix that with a number of things. It's not going to be fixed through that project. It's going through the planning system as the others are. But we take very seriously, and the EPA takes very seriously, the environmental controls on such places.
Thank you. A supplementary question. The Honourable Robert Borsak.
The Honourable Member will get his chance when he gets to Federal Parliament. Would the Minister agree that the environmental impact of the proposed plastic recycling plant is drastically less than the PFAS and other toxins which have been proven will be emitted by the proposed incinerator at Tarago that the member for Goulburn's and government endorsed?
Honourable Penny Sharpe.
Thank you, Honourable Member, for the supplementary. He is asking me for an opinion for which I am not qualified to give, but I do rely on obviously our experts in relation to the EPA. I cannot tell you about the difference between what the environmental impact of the Plasrefine proposal is versus energy from waste. I'm happy to take it on notice, though, and actually get some people who know far more about the detail of what actually is coming out of that, and really happy to provide that to the member.
Right.